it's Froggy and I'm back again with another episode of Hakuoki Kyoto Winds. So, we skipped a whole bunch of stuff. So, we did the patrol with Okita where we met Kaoru. We got attacked by that stray fury guy. And then we got saved by all of the commanders. Ito's here. He saw Sanan, so that whole thing went down. So now we've got our options here. So I was especially worried about, and then we've got the guard and the soldiers. We chose the soldiers last time. This time we're choosing the guard. What worried me the most were the people leaving with Ito. Haisuke and Saito. Would I ever get to see them again? Was this goodbye? I wanted to know what they were thinking. Were they still around? As I stood up to go look for them, I spotted Yamazaki walking towards me.
Yukimura-kun.
Oh, Yamazaki.
昨晩怪我をしたそうだな。傷の具合はどうなんだ?
Yeah, I'm fine. Have you, seen Haisuke and Saito?
東堂さんと斉藤さんか。
His expression turned grim at the mention of their names. It was quite clear how he felt about the men who'd chosen to leave the Shinsengumi with Ito. Sorry for asking. I turned quickly to leave, but he held out a hand to stop me.
境内だ。向こうに行くのをさっき見かけた。
Thanks.
話をするなら早い方がいい。彼らがここを出た後はそれすらも許されなくなるからな。
Yes. There they were. Haisuke! Saito! They turned around with reserved expressions.
やっぱ捕まっちまったか。
Oh, did you want to be left alone? I can go.
んなことないって。俺もちゃんと話したいって思ってたからさ。
Good.
やはり来たか。話があるなら早く済ませてくれ。
Right. I just wanted to hear it from you. Why are you leaving the Shinsengumi?
理由か。
He scrunched up his face and scratched nervously at the side of his nose.
伊藤さんは同じ流派の先輩だし、昔から知ってるしさ。あの人が新選組に入ったのは、俺が誘ったのがきっかけだったんだし。だから、一緒に行動する義務があるんじゃねえかなって。そう思ったんだよ。
Haisuke had always struck me as kind, so it was no surprise that he felt that he couldn't abandon Ito. But that means that you'll leave everyone else behind. You might not ever get to see them again.
いきなり分派って言われて、俺もちょっと動揺してるところはあるんだけどさ。けど俺、もともと幕府に尽くしたいって思ってたわけじゃねえし、例の薬のこととかいろいろ考えると、伊藤さんが言う御領英治の方が合ってる気がするんだ。
I couldn't really think of anything to say, so I kept my mouth shut. After a moment, he continued.
俺だって、本当はみんなとずっとバカ騒ぎしてたかったさ。だって、江戸にいた頃から今まで、ずっと一緒だったもんな。
His gaze drifted off into the distance, and his profile seemed almost heartbreakingly lonely. But his mouth was a hard line. His mind was made up. What about you, Saito? I looked up at him.
自らの志に合うと感じて、伊藤派に属することに決めた。
Are you an imperialist too?
征夷大将軍というのは本来、夷敵を排するためにある役職。害意を払うという本分を忘れた幕府に尽くす道理はあるまい。
So you're saying that Kondo and Hijikata are wrong?
そうだ。
And because you don't agree with them, you're willing to walk away and never see them again?
それもやむを得んだろう。己の志を貫くためには、情などに頓着するべきではない。
But wanted them to stay, felt betrayed. We're gonna go with felt betrayed. How could you do this to us? We've been together for so long. And now you're just going to abandon us?
そう言うなよ。こっちもつれえんだからさ。
The look he gave me nearly broke my heart, and in that moment I suddenly understood how he felt. Oh, he was suffering too, perhaps just as much as I was, and yet I'd say such horrible things.
いや、こっちこそごめんな。じゃあな。
Oh. And then he was gone, and I was left with my apologies still forming on my lips. Yamazaki. How could I have been so inconsiderate? I should have known that it was painful for him too.
ずっと共に頑張ってきたから、これから先も一緒にか。あんたは己の志にそぐわなくとも、長い間一緒にいたというだけで、今後も行動を共にし続けるべきだというのか。情に流されて己のなすべきことを見失う。それでは本末転倒だろ
う。But can you ignore your feelings so easily? Isn't it hard for you to leave your friends behind?
しない。務めであれば仲間であろうと切る。そう決めれば迷うこともない。
I don't think I could ever understand that. Duty is important to you, I know, but still. Was duty the only function of a member of the Shinsengumi? Did they exist only to fulfill that duty, at the exclusion of everything else? That seemed awfully, horribly sad. I wanted to speak, to tell Saito how I felt, but I knew no matter what I said, it would simply slide off of him, unacknowledged and unwelcome. Saito, for his part, said nothing. We stood for a moment, until he moved toward one of the many blossoming cherry trees covering the temple grounds. Oh. Hello.
何度目だろうな。こうして今日で見る桜も。
Cherry blossoms? It must have been my imagination, but I could have sworn that Saito's face, as he looked at the blossoms above him, was sad.
時が移ろう中で、様々なものが変わっていく。世の動きも、思想も、そしてこの新選組も。
He reached out gently and let a single petal fall into his palm. For several moments, he simply looked at it. Are we changing too? He looked up. Our eyes met. We have. Is that why you're leaving? Because we've changed? He didn't answer, only gazed quietly up at the cherry blossoms. His mind had been made up long ago. There was nothing that I could say that would change it now.
それでも、何もかもが変わってしまうわけではない。
I was surprised, not by his words, but by the small smile that appeared with them.
時代の移り変わりとともに変わるものもあれば、変わらぬものもある。変わらぬものをこそ信じている。
Things that do not change.
そう。
And somehow that meant he should go with it too. It didn't make any sense. What Saito believed in was something else. I didn't know what yet, but I could feel it. So long as he didn't change, so long as he was still the man who could look at the cherry blossoms and smile, then perhaps it was okay. Even if he was far away, perhaps our hearts could still feel the presence of each other. It was sad to think that he would no longer be nearby, but... Saito, could you give me that petal?
別に構わないが、どうするつもりなのだ。
I won't do anything with it. I just want to keep it. A reminder of my time with him.
あんたは物好きだな。だがいいだろう。ほら。
Thank you. I'll treasure it. Alright, I think we've seen this, so we're gonna go ahead and skip up. Alright, and we're back. So Sen came to visit to try and convince us to leave with her because we were a demon. There was an option that came up between yes and no. We chose yes. And then there's fighting going on inside of here, which means that I'm pretty sure it's Chikage who's here with his cronies. There was another option where we had to stay in the room or leave. We stayed in the room, and now we've got this option: remain in the room or run away from the room. Because we can hear everything going on outside, we are going to remain in the room, which is what we were told to do. Shimada told me to stay hidden in the room, so I have to obey what he said. But something is definitely happening outside of this room. My hands wouldn't stop trembling from fear.
Yukimura-kun! Yukimura-kun wa iru ka?
I heard my name from the other side of the sliding door. It was a familiar voice. Yamazaki? Yes, I'm here.
無事だったか。隙間は開けずにそのまま聞いてくれ。
Okay, but Shimada is...
分かっている。だが、敵はまだこの辺りにいる。君は部屋の明かりを消して、何があっても声を立てるな。いいな。
Okay. Just as Yamazaki had said, I blew out all of the candles in the room. Just then, I could sense the air on the other side of the door change, and it made my arm hairs stand.
あの娘はどこにいる？残念だったな。すでに彼女は安全な場所に逃れている。そうか。ではそこをどけ。断る。この先に行かせるわけにはいかない。虫けらだ。邪魔をするな。
I heard a giant thud, and the room and the door shook after Yamazaki was thrown. And right after, Yamazaki flew into the room. Yamazaki!
声を立てるな。
Yamazaki stopped me from trying to leave my corner of the room by covering me. Yamazaki and I are in a location where we can't be easily spotted from the hallway. However, I could still sense Kazuma from beyond the door. If we had moved, even just a little, he would be able to find us. In order to save ourselves, Yamazaki and I had no choice but to stay completely still and silent. The air was so tense that we had to stop breathing. I wasn't sure how long we'd been in the room. Eventually, Kazuma seemed like he grew bored, walking away as the sound of his footsteps grew further and further away.
やつは言ったか。
Yes. Even though my voice was filled with relief, Yamazaki seemed much more unsettled.
くそ、何もできなかった。
No, you protected me.
この部屋に来なかったのはたまたまだ。俺には奴を倒せるどころか、足止めする力もないのか。俺に力があれば、もっと力が。
After it seemed as though Kazuma was no longer anywhere to be seen, I helped Yamazaki stand. He still seemed a little weak, his legs wobbling from being thrown earlier.
今のうちに君は安全なところに。仲間の元に逃げろ。
No, I can't just leave you behind, Yamazaki.
俺のことは構うな。
But you're injured. You're my comrade too. Aw, yeah, we're comrades. We don't want him to seem weak, so we're gonna do that one. Well, because you're my comrade too, Yamazaki. I can't leave my comrade behind.
そうか。俺を仲間と言ってくれるのか、君は。
Future lover, obviously. Yes, you're protecting me. You are very dear to me.
ありがとう。考えようによっては、下手に逃げるより、ここにいる方が安全かもしれない。
Yes, you may be right.
しかし、状況はどうなっているんだ。
Yamazaki peeked outside of the room from a window, but we couldn't hear any more swords clashing. However, we could hear footsteps approaching.
雪村君、早く奥に。
But your injury, Yamazaki.
俺は大丈夫だ。君は早く。
As I was shuffling to hide myself in the corner, I saw someone jumping into the room.
おお、雪村君。よかった、無事だったか。
Inoue. Inoue took a look at both me and Yamazaki, and he sighed in relief.
怪我はないかい？
I'm fine, but Yamazaki...
そうか。山崎君が彼女を守ってくれたのか。山崎君、ありがとう。怪我は大丈夫かね？
ええ、なんとか。それより奴は？
ああ、みんなが頑張ってくれたおかげで追い返すことができたよ。
そうですか。それは良かったです。
もし怪我が大丈夫のようなら、一緒にトシさんのところに行ってくれるかい？
わかりました。俺は副長のもとに君の安全を伝えてくる。君はこのまま部屋にいてくれ。
Okay. Yamazaki and Inoue left my room and headed for Hijikata. What was most concerning to me was Yamazaki's perplexed expression before Inoue arrived. He looked almost upset. I mean, he was up against Kazuma, which was no normal feat, especially for a human. Alright, well, I'm going to go ahead and end this episode here for today. Hope you guys enjoyed it. If you want to see more videos from me, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Thanks for watching.